Next up, we'll be talking about using tech to target stress and build mind fitness. Edwina Griffin, CEO of At1 Australia. Edwina has worked in the fitness and wellness industry for 25 years, running Fit Women, Fit Mum and Fit Men centres, and has taught meditation for 20 years. She has worked in staff training for corporate, government and not-for-profit sectors and continues to do workplace mediations. After collapsing in a workplace from workplace stress in 2012, and I think we can all know what workplace stress can be like, Edwina began to explore a multisensory approach to meditation and mind fitness using technology, and also developed At1. She is the founder and CEO of At1 Australia. Over to you, Edwina.
Thanks very much, David. I'm off mute, right? Am I? I think I did that before. Yes, I think I am. So it's great also to just hear what Daniel's up to. I'm keen to have a chat to him because At1, as you know, meditation is pretty well. The problem we're targeting is anxiety and stress. And some figures that I think are relevant to this group are, you know, obviously we have the anxiety and stress amongst the population generally, particularly Indigenous Australians are 3 times more likely to be psychologically distressed than non-Indigenous. And the other critical figure is that people in rural and remote areas are 50% more likely to die by suicide. So I guess At1 is looking at being a tool to support other mechanisms, other interventions for stress and anxiety. Working with psychologists and psychiatrists is some of that. We're using this technology to help with emotional regulation, to help with emotional state and training the mind for more positive behavioural changes to help with lifestyle and stress. So we all know that meditation is a proven methodology to help people. One of the challenges I found, having taught meditation for over 20 years, is that it can be difficult for people if they're not used to meditating to get into that deep space or to find a place where it's relaxing or where they can really get away and be quiet and be able to feel like they can start to wind down, particularly if their home environment isn't stable and isn't conducive to it. So this is where the technology comes in. So I guess in terms of this group and the rural and regional areas, remote areas, it's also around the fact that this technology is mobile and it can be used anywhere. So what it does is supercharges people's ability, takes them into a deeper state faster by this multi-sensory approach. So rather than sort of saying, okay, I want you to relax just with an audio, people are taken in with the visual, they have smells that go with their experience to help take them there very quickly. It's also helpful in that often you can't get practitioners, you don't have that group feeling of a class sometimes when you're in a remote area, whereas we can bring it into anywhere, whether someone's 300 k's out of town or whether they're in a city, they can still be joining others in that meditation. So some of the other benefits of virtual reality for those, I don't know if people have used them. I know you have a headset there, David, but then with COVID, I didn't send the UV cleaner because it wasn't such a problem at the time, but there are UV cleaners as well that can be sort of a minute, they can be cleaned properly. So it does have that immediate engagement. It's no distractions. You go into the headset and you feel like you're in a totally different place no matter where you are. And I see an opportunity for this as well. We're chatting with Mujungal Women's Centre in Sydney and looking to speak with other communities. So I'm keen to connect with Daniel as well for Indigenous populations to also bring in some of their footage from their lands and their country, bringing in the language of the local people so that this tool, you know, once the challenging part is setting up the tech, then you can add in whatever you'd like. And so I think there's huge opportunity to try and get community involved in creating their own footage and their own content here. So here's a bit of an insight into, given you can't go into the headsets with COVID restrictions, it's a very sort of 15-second taster of what it looks like within a headset.
Take a moment to get comfortable with your back straight and supported.
Focus points there to help with people.
Become aware of your surroundings.
Narrow their focus.
You can hit the scenery.
There's real and virtual scenery.
And the different textures.
That just gives you a little bit of a taste of what it looks like in the headset. There are virtual scenes of sort of being in space in different places. The feedback we're getting is a lot of people actually loving being in nature and being in different locations away from where they are. And this also, I see, has a role for people in remote communities or who can't get back to country if they're in cities for medical treatments and things, to be able to see footage and feel like they're back on their land has value as well. So there's different types of categories of meditation, so that it's for training the mind through neuroplasticity as well. So you have sort of lifestyle related, stress related, performance related, different categories of the meditations. And they're aimed at 2 minute, 5 minute and 10 minutes. So we're really targeting people who may not have meditated before. And of course there is the option to do it manually without a voice and just go to that place and listen to music. One of the key differentiators from this product from, apart from the virtual reality, is the fact that we have got data reporting, and the data has been mentioned throughout today is the important piece for getting some of these statistics for each community. So the mind fitness is in 5 categories. Focus and relaxation are based on tech figures. So the relaxation recovery is heart rate recovery, which measures how quickly heart rate drops, how long it's dropped for. There's a measure of 1 to 7 on that. Focus is measured from eye tracking and body movement, so how deeply they're getting into that state. Clarity, engagement and emotional are based on user responses in terms of, do you feel you could do a complex task, for example? No, I feel like doing nothing. Do you feel like interacting with other people? No, I don't. That type of question. Emotional function is, I feel at peace with the world. No, I feel irritable. And then there's of course the emotional state before and after the meditation, to see if there's any shifts before and after. That's then brought into reports. So this probably looks a lot on a screen, but there are 2 reports on here. One's for the individual and one's for group reporting. So I guess they're similar in that they show the different categories of mind fitness. And then there's also online training, which are small grabs of 5 to 10 minutes of tips. If someone finds that an area of that mind fitness is low, for example, focus is low for you this week, here's a few tips that you might want to bring into your week to see if you can improve that result for next week. The optional additions, so SNOMED coding, you're probably aware of with Margaret. Thanks to Margaret for that. Enables that to be given in terms of the different populations and getting some coding as used with our digital health strategy. And that coding is around the emotional state of participants. So the benefits to the user, to the manager, to the user, it's around neuroplasticity. It's around the fact they get into a deeper state faster. The feedback we often get is people have never sort of felt that relaxed that quickly. So it helps really people understand what meditation is, feel the benefit quickly, so then they feel inspired to want to do it again. It also adds an element of fun to quite a serious topic, anxiety and stress. A lot of the feedback we get from the centres we're in and the organisations we're in is that it provides also a talking point for these conversations around stress and anxiety. And in terms of the benefits for the manager, it is giving those insights of the mind fitness of a group, of a particular community, where you can actually then drive training or drive directions based on the data and the reporting and identify potential risks. The hardware use is typically, we can put on several bits of hardware, but we're currently mainly on the Oculus Quest and HTC Vive Focus 3. The heart rate band is just worn on the wrist. And then there's oils as well, which help to sort of train the mind. And then you can use obviously scent to trigger that positive memory at a time when you might not have the headset. So the great thing about this tech is you can have several users on one headset. So you don't have to have a headset for every person unless they're all in different locations. But in terms of community health, potentially the way it's been working in several of the organisations we're with now is it's in the community centre. People can go in and use it, and then you're getting those statistics and those reports on that whole community based on that. We're also looking at doing a phone app version for when people can't access a headset, so that both options are there. But it doesn't mean you need a VR headset for every person. That's just some of the testimonials, and I've been speaking quickly because I know we had a short amount of time. So I think if anyone's interested in talking further, I'm certainly keen to chat to some of the people, certainly Daniel, around what's happening in community, because we're keen to work with community to create more content with local populations. And if you want more info or just have a demo, happy to send out headsets for people to trial, given you can't trial them today. Thanks, David.